Marvel Rivals is full of crazy plays, but some seem completely impossible, from killing every enemy to getting a flawless victory. I'll be ranking the hardest things to do in Marvel Rivals, but they get progressively more difficult. In Marvel Rivals, completing a 1v3 or 1v4 is not only impressive, but also almost heroic. Every second counts when you're so outnumbered. It is impossible to miss a cooldown. An ability cannot be whiffed. To survive, you must use cover, isolate targets, and lure out enemy ultimates. Additionally, you need to have impeccable positioning, next-level aim, and perfect game sense when the opposing team is well coordinated. If played properly, characters like Iron Man or Scarlet Witch can clutch, but it takes more than just damage. It also requires timing, map control, and move prediction. When that happens, most players freak out. But what if you maintain composure, play strategically, and perform neatly? What appeared to be a death sentence will become a crazy highlight thanks to you. Although Rocket's grenades appear to be bouncy orbs, what are they really like? They are among the most difficult skill shots in the game. They don't follow a straight path. They bounce off the floor, walls, and other surfaces. They ricochet and arc, and your teammates miss them half the time. In the hopes that one will hit, most players toss them out at random. The best Rocket players, though, those projectiles are handled like fine-tuning instruments. They are aware of the angles on the map. They anticipate where adversaries will avoid. They intentionally bank grenades off walls. Magneto's ult appears to be a free team wipe, until you don't notice it at all. It takes more than just hitting Q to land Magnetic Crush. It all comes down to setting the ideal trap. One of Marvel Rivals' most aesthetically stunning ultimates is Magnetic Crush. If you catch the opposing squad clumped together, it can change the outcome of a whole battle. Most players are unaware of how much timing and setup this ult requires. You must be near, but not too near. You must capture several targets without alerting them, and before they disperse, run, teleport, or stun you in the face, you have roughly a half second to do it. No one is within range, so you pop it too early. They've already used their getaway, and it's too late. A game-winning vortex and a total failure are separated by a thin line. The finest Magneto players team up with heroes like Groot, who zones adversaries into a corner, or Storm, who can concentrate attackers into a single area. Because when it strikes, the battle is lost by the adversary. But capturing that moment, the difficult aspect is that. Therefore, be careful and consider your options before attempting to LeBron James someone with Magneto's slam. Do you think you move well? Avoid being locked onto by a Spider-Man. Avoiding a single web is difficult. Avoiding them all is not possible. Spider-Man has quick, sticky, and vicious web shoots. You're locked in, cambode, focused, possibly even dead, after only one connect. What about the terrifying part? A competent Spider-Man will not fire a single shot. Before you even hit the key, they will follow you in midair, chain their slows, and anticipate where you will avoid. Consistent dodging requires you to vary your movement each and every time. Repeat, jump, fake, strafe. Running in a straight line is impossible. You must not panic. You must disrupt his cadence without altering your own posture. Additionally, awareness is just as important as mobility. You're already webbed if you don't know where Spider-Man is. If you're in plain sight, he has an angle already. Avoiding Spider-Man requires more discipline than reflex. It's not simply mechanics, it's a war of the ideas. The next thing you know, you're being pursued by Black Panther while you're mending your crew. Supporting others is about more than simply mending. It's about surviving. When facing heroes who use a lot of diving, like Storm, Venom, or Black Panther, Marvel Rivals becomes a frightening survival game. They're flanking you all the time. You have few escape options, little health, and perhaps one buddy is watching. It's your responsibility to survive long enough to support your team without getting picked first in every conflict. Clones and invisibility are two of the techniques used by characters such as Loki. There's no hard escape, although Mantis possesses CC and heals. Until it's safe to peek again, you must anticipate when the dive will occur, pre-position, and occasionally just vanish. Excellent assistance, not all players sit behind tanks. They understand how to draw pressure without dying, when to spin early, and when to redeploy. They use baited overextensions, cooldown timing, and map knowledge to stay alive. For what if you survive if the enemy burns your combo? That's a victory. However, surviving in such confrontations as a support, it's quite challenging. Not only do some team comps fight you, they also remove you. Taking on a wombo combo like the Hulk and Namor, it's a full team test, so it's not simply difficult. Namor turns into an extremely challenging hero to oppose after he and the Hulk decide to team up, particularly when it comes to diving characters like Venom. Good teams are distinguished from well-coordinated nightmares by these types of team synergy. You must spread out your troops, avoid squatting in close quarters, and anticipate the setup. It's not only Namor and the Hulk either. Consider Wanda and Doctor Strange, or Wolverine in The Thing, disorganized teams are intended to be punished by these configurations. Your DPS cannot be tunnel visioning, your tanks must peel early, and your supports must preserve important cooldowns in order to defeat it. It's uncommon to find discipline like that. Teamwork like that is even more uncommon. Countering perfectly synced combos is therefore one of the most difficult things to achieve in Marvel Rivals because it takes more than one person to do it well. Your whole crew is involved. You have zone control, assists, and eliminations, but no fatalities? You've never been better than that. If you are perfect in Marvel Rivals, you have never perished. Not in the middle of an untidy team fight, not with someone flanking you. You made an impact, survived, and left without incident. It's uncommon, because it takes expert placement and flawless decision-making to survive the entire match in a game that moves so quickly, where skills are used every second, and one mistake results in instant extinction. Whether you're playing DPS, tank, or support, there will always be a point in which things start to go shady. You're surrounded, running low on cooldowns, and only one pixel away from being popped. The top athletes? They are aware of when to press and when to retreat. They don't go after pointless kills. Their egos don't prowl around. The scoreboard reflects their long-term strategy, and when you do complete a game without any errors, it's a flex. It's a clip that demonstrates that you outplayed the adversary at every turn, not just outgun them. You spin around when you hear a disturbance, and nothing. Loki is no longer there. Then behind you, he's back. Rejecting that? Greetings from psychological combat. A decent Loki isn't fair. He wants to play with your mind, not engage in a duel. His teleport, his clone, his invisibility, it's always too late to find out where he is, and you only have a second or so to respond once he's on you. How long he remains undetectable before moving, where he likes to flank, and when he attempts to pick off the backline, because reading him is just as important to countering him as seeing him. It requires ongoing consciousness, tracking acoustic cues, anticipating clone baits, and keeping your CC until the actual Loki appears are all necessary. You'll probably still get jacked at least once even then. Let's face it, the best strategy for surviving is do not panic, remain with your comrades, maintain control over your vision. What if he's going crazy? Either focus on him first in every battle or burn a cooldown to capture him early. The only way to defeat Loki, who lives on chaos, is to remain composed and outsmart the cunning scam artist. 5 stacks versus you. No communications, no cooperation, just pandemonium and vibrations. Climbing Marvel Rivals alone? That is among the most crazy movements a player can make. Heroes are made, and sanity is lost in the solo queue. One of the most difficult things to accomplish in Marvel Rivals is to reach the top tier without a prepared squad. Your squad is well coordinated in a single match. The next game, your support believes they are DPS, based just on the flanking of your tank. You're attempting to carry fights, shot call, and stay upright in the meantime. It involves more than simple technical proficiency. It also involves mental toughness, communication, and consistency. Bad comps, strange choices, no heals, and people who won't band together for goals are all things you have to get used to. Your team is the true obstacle, not the opposition's. Nevertheless, the top solo queue players continue to emerge. They never allow the turmoil to distract them from their goals. Play conservatively when the team loses, and carry when necessary. It's patience. Shot calling is what it is. It's a persistently hard carry mentality. Have you achieved the highest level without stacking? You earned every inch of MMR. You didn't just grind it. Because climbing isn't about winning games in the solo queue. It's about getting through them. Have you ever started a game and noticed that your team is only dealing damage and not healing? Every conflict is now a risk. You have no second chances if you make one mistake. To carry in this type of matchup, you must have flawless engagements. You can't go overboard. You cannot count on someone to finish you off in the middle of a battle. Picks must be made quickly, and you must reposition even more quickly. Even when self-sustaining characters like Venom or Namor assist, it's still up to you. Without a lifeline, you must manage pressure, make room, and somehow survive entire team battles. Health packs would be your only option. Should you succeed, all of the team was backpacked through mayhem by you. Perhaps you should choose support the next time. You're fragging. Fights are going your way. However, because no one is addressing the point, your team is still losing. You have to do everything now. Have you ever topped the scoreboard, won every duel, and yet lost? When no one is playing the objective, that is what occurs. All of a sudden, you are the map's nanny in addition to being the carry. Being the objective controller and the fight commander is one of the most difficult positions to fill. You must still step on the point or contest the payload yourself while zoning foes, maintaining momentum, and rotating early. A single incorrect rotation, positioning is lost. One avaricious flank, the goal is lost. Aggression and accountability must always be balanced. The most intelligent gamers are able to accomplish both, because without that awareness, you will outfrag the opponent and still see the large red defeat screen. 1 HP in your tank, your DPS will soon be selected. Can you time it correctly? You have one last chance to save them both. One of the most stressful moves in the game is rescuing a teammate from certain death, whether it's a well-timed bubble, a peel stun, or a clutch heal. You must simultaneously comprehend your ally's positioning and the enemy's combo timing. There's only a single window of opportunity to take action. If you wait too long, they will be gone. Tanks with a powerful peel like the Thing, or supports like Mantis or Loki, lucky, have the ability to save lives. However, only if the player behind them is keeping an eye on the entire field and anticipating what will happen next, rather than only responding to what has already occurred. When do you save that? It goes beyond being a highlight. This change in momentum has the potential to win games.